Alright, what is going on YouTube? So I made a video talking about the likelihood of the Yu Yu Hakusho live action getting a season 2. So for this video, I actually wanted to talk about the things I would want in a season 2 if they were to do it. And yeah, I'm really curious about what you guys would want as well. So definitely feel free to chime in the comment section below about if you agree with my hopes and expectations and wants and desires. And definitely let me know yours. For all my Yu Yu Hakusho fans out there, we gotta come together and realize what we want from a live action adaptation. So yeah, if any of you guys have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, the funny thing is, I actually made a video, I think 2 years ago, talking about how I thought initially, like when the Yu Yu Hakusho live action got announced, before they showed any, designs of the characters or anything, I thought to myself, it's funny how Yu Yu Hakusho has a pretty big advantage over a lot of other live action adaptations of anime in the fact that a lot of the enemies look very human. And I was referring to the chapter Black Sensui arc because I had just rewatched that. And I remember there's all these enemies, all these characters like Sniper, Doctor, who are literally just humans, but they have, powers. And I thought, well, if they're gonna make that into live action, that would fit pretty well because they don't have to spend a whole lot of money on CG or make things look unrealistic or unnatural because these characters are already just human. And I think that could make for a very interesting and well done arc in live action. I'd go as far as to say if they do only just another 5 episodes, I think the Sensui arc could fit much better into those 5 episodes as opposed to what they try to do with this first season, which is cram the beginning all the way into the Dark Tournament into 5 episodes. Like, that was a little much for what they did or what they tried to do. It wasn't that bad of a job, but it's still a lot to cram in to just 5 episodes. But I kind of understand why, looking back at it. It's like, well, if they have a Yu Yu Hakusho live action adaptation without like Hiei and Kurama, like the main 4, then are people really going to be interested? And then it's like, you have Toguro, you have Genkai. Like, I can see why they did it. I feel like, you have to give the main 4 like someone to go up against, right? Some kind of villain or antagonist, right? And yeah, they probably could have done one of the earlier arcs with like where they go to that one place in Demon World, and I think Yusuke has to fight that guy. I can't remember his name, but I do remember like there was one arc where they all had to fight like different demons as they were going into this like castle. They probably could have honestly adapted that or ended the season 1 with that. But at the same time, I mean, you can even tell by my recording, I couldn't even remember the guy's name, the villain's name that Yusuke had to fight and everyone else had to fight. I remember Kuwabara had to fight like this tiger looking like big demon, and then Hiei was like fighting this ice powered demon, but I really don't remember like their names or their designs all that much. And I feel like when you think of Yu Yu Hakusho, like you think of Toguro or you think of Sensui, like those are the villains that come to mind. So when you look at it like that, if they're trying to like sell people that have seen or remember Yu Yu Hakusho a little bit, you're gonna need to bring out some kind of big guns. You're gonna have to bring out the villain everyone knows, which is Toguro. So it kind of makes sense when you think about it in that context. Looking back at it, it's like, yeah, I get why they did it, why they tried to squeeze it in, because like Toguro is the villain that most people that have heard of Yu Yu Hakusho or know a little bit about it would probably know, even from a non-Yu Yu Hakusho fan perspective. I feel like if you play Jump Force or J-Stars, like Toguro's in those games. No other Yu Yu Hakusho villain is in those games. It's Yusuke, Hiei, and Toguro. They're in J-Stars, they're in Jump Force. So I feel like even if you have never seen it, you probably recognize Toguro in some kind of way, right? So that's probably why they were like, we have to bring Toguro in there. And that's where things get a little messy and they got to cram things to make other things work. So I get it. Like, I understand why they did it. And I don't even think they did the terrible job. I think they just needed more episodes, honestly. Because like, while a Dark Tournament would be cool, I also felt like, yeah, there's parts of the Dark Tournament I don't really need to see. But talking about a season 2 and the Sensui arc, I really do feel like a lot of the things that happen in that that arc would work really well in live action, and I think it would look actually really cool. It's been a while since I've actually seen the arc, so I can't speak too much, or like, you know, it's not directly in my memory at the moment, but I remember making a video talking about like, oh, you know, this could actually work pretty well in live action. And I remember making that video like years ago, and then we finally got like the designs for the characters, and then people were saying like, oh, well, you know, have you seen the designs? It's like, dude, have you seen the time that the video was made? Like, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, like now it comes around full circle. Season 1's already out. Season 2, I honestly just really hope that they adapt the Sensui arc. You know, I think it would work pretty well even if they cram it into another 5 episodes, but personally I do think and I do hope that they have more than 5 episodes to work with, because I think it would be cool to see like most of the humans that get powers and see how their fates kind of unravel. The characters I really liked were Sniper, and I think Doctor was interesting. I mean, like, it was an interesting fight like in that hospital, so I would definitely love for that to be there. And I really do want to see Sniper because I remember his character was very interesting and had an interesting like end, I would say, and I just thought he was really, really cool. But like the video game character, like the kid, he would be interesting to see in live action and see them like go through that little mini game battle, I guess. But I feel like if they cut him out, I'm not gonna be, you know, tripping. Like I don't really care as much if he's not in the arc, I'll be honest. But yeah, Doctor and Sniper definitely. And then also Seaman, they gotta have Seaman. His character was interesting, and that moment where like Kuwabara's in the rain and then he gets his upgraded like spirit sword, like, yo, that would be so fire. Oh my god, like I need that. If they do that arc, they gotta have my boy Seaman, and they gotta have Kuwabara like get his little, you know, his boost, his upgrade in powers like in that moment. Oof, that was fire. Yeah, those were like the moments I remember the most. And then of course the fight with Yusuke and Sensui like at the end, you know, like they could make it work. I honestly think they could make it work. And I think if they end it there with Yusuke getting into his demon form more, I think it honestly could end up ending at a perfect spot or a perfect teaser for like a season 3, and then that season 3 could be the final arc of Yu Yu Hakusho, which is, you know, the battle for who claims Demon World, I guess you could say. So that would be pretty cool actually, if they have enough time to flesh everything out, make everything make sense, and do this Sensui arc right. Then yeah, it could set up really nicely for a season 3, and that could be like the final season of this Yu Yu Hakusho live action series, and it could end in a similar way that the Yu Yu Hakusho anime ended. And yeah, I think that would be really cool actually. I think honestly, even though season 1 was adapting a lot more than it should have in terms of just the source material and condensing it into 5 episodes, even though it was a bit rushed, I do feel like the more seasons of this live action that could potentially go on, the better that it will actually end up being, because the more the Yu Yu Hakusho anime goes on, the shorter the arcs become, mainly referring to the Sensui arc, and then after that the whole like Demon World tournament arc, after from the beginning to Dark Tournament arc. So I feel like because those are shorter than what they try to adapt in season 1 already of the live action, it's gonna be a lot easier to make a season 2 or season 3, because the rest of the source material is already shorter in the form of arcs, and I think it will just translate much nicer from arc to live action arc than what they already tried to do. Now they could make the mistake of trying to adapt Chapter Black, Sensui, and the final Demon World tournament and like squeeze it all in together, which they shouldn't do, but hopefully they're able to realize, okay, we can make Sensui into one arc and we can end it there and set up for like another season or so. I mean, I guess the fact that they didn't really do that with the season 1 kind of means that they could end up not doing that with season 2, or like they might not be able to recognize that as well, which does scare me. But I'm gonna just give them the benefit of the doubt that they knew what they had to do with including like the most popular villain and like the most popular fights from the Dark Tournament arc, and they wanted to just include that because that's what people mostly remember from Yu Yu Hakusho. So they felt they had to do that, as opposed to making something that was better paced but ended in a place where people wouldn't have been satisfied. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that that's what they were thinking, and that if they do get a season 2, that they will pick a start and ending point that is more suitable to start and end a story arc that they want to adapt, as opposed to cramming all the rest of Yu Yu Hakusho into another 5 episodes. because that's what I really don't want, but we'll see. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I would just, you know, want them to be as faithful to the Sensui arc as they can be. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can ask for. But what do you guys think they should end up doing if they ever do make a season 2 of the Yu Yu Hakusho live action? Let me know in the comments below. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out a ton. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in the next video.